There is a war that has been raging since the day you were born. Most people never realize they're fighting it. They think their greatest enemy is bad luck. They blame difficult circumstances. They point to other people. They search for someone or something to explain why life hasn't become what they imagined. But none of those things are the real battle. The greatest battle you'll ever fight is the one between the person you are and the person you could become. Every morning they wake up together. One chooses comfort, the other chooses growth. One says, "You've done enough." The other quietly whispers, "There's more inside you." Every decision you make strengthens one and weakens the other. Imagine standing inside an enormous cathedral. The room is silent. Sunlight pours through stained glass windows. Your footsteps echo through the empty halls. In the very center of the room, you find two statues. One is carved from polished marble, strong, confident, unshaken. The other has begun to crumble. Cracks spread across its surface. Dust gathers at its feet. Then you notice something remarkable. Both statues were carved from the same stone. The difference wasn't the material. It was what happened over time. Your character works exactly the same way. Every choice is another strike of the sculptor's chisel. Every habit leaves another mark. Every challenge reveals what you're becoming. You are sculpting yourself, whether you realize it or not. The universe hides one of its greatest lessons in the stars. Every star is constantly collapsing under its own gravity. The force pulling inward is almost unimaginable. Yet inside that crushing pressure, something extraordinary happens. Light is born. Without pressure, the stars would never shine. Think about your own life. Perhaps the pressure you're feeling isn't proof that you're falling apart. Perhaps it's proof that you're becoming capable of producing a light you've never known before. Your mind is a storyteller. Every day, it writes another chapter. The problem is, it doesn't care whether the story is true. It only cares whether the story is repeated. Tell yourself you're weak often enough, and weakness becomes familiar. Tell yourself you'll never change, and your mind begins searching for evidence. But reverse the story. Tell yourself, "I always find a way. I keep my promises. I grow stronger through difficulty." Eventually, your brain begins collecting proof for those stories instead. The story you repeat becomes the life you recognize. Choose your words carefully. They're building your future. Walk through an ancient forest. Notice the tallest trees. Notice how they stretch toward the sky without apology. They never ask the smaller trees for permission to grow. They never shrink because someone else feels uncomfortable. They simply reach for the light. Imagine how much energy people waste trying to remain acceptable to everyone around them. You were never designed to fit inside someone else's expectations. You were designed to grow. Growth sometimes makes people uncomfortable. Grow anyway. There is a mountain every person must eventually climb. Not a mountain of rock, a mountain of excuses. At the bottom, you'll hear familiar voices. "I'm too tired. I'll begin tomorrow. What if I fail? I don't know enough." As you climb higher, those voices become quieter, not because they disappear, because you're no longer listening. Every step upward requires leaving another excuse behind. Eventually, you reach a point where the excuses can no longer follow you. Imagine an old watchmaker sitting quietly in his workshop. Every tiny gear matters. Every spring, every screw. If even one piece is ignored, the entire clock begins losing time. Life works the same way. People search for one giant breakthrough, one incredible opportunity, one magical solution. But extraordinary lives are built through tiny details repeated consistently. Going to bed on time, keeping your word, practicing patience, reading another page, choosing kindness, listening instead of reacting. Small things, done repeatedly, create remarkable people. The ocean teaches patience. Wave after wave, it touches the shore. Nothing dramatic happens. Then decades pass. Cliffs disappear. Stone becomes sand. Entire coastlines change shape. Not through one powerful wave, through relentless persistence. If the ocean can reshape continents through consistency, imagine what daily discipline can do to a single human life. There will come a season when it feels as though nothing is changing. You'll work hard, you'll stay disciplined, you'll remain committed, yet life will appear exactly the same. Be careful during that season, because that's where most dreams quietly die, not because people fail, because they mistake invisible progress for no progress. Never judge today's effort using today's results. Judge it by who you're becoming. Every sunrise offers two gifts. The first is another 24 hours. The second is another chance. Not everyone receives both forever. Treat them accordingly. Time is strange. When we're young, it feels endless. As we grow older, it begins moving like the wind. One day you'll realize the years you thought were waiting. We're quietly becoming memories. Don't postpone the life you're capable of living. There is incredible freedom in accepting responsibility, not because everything is your fault, because everything becomes your opportunity. Responsibility says, I cannot change yesterday, but I completely control my response today. That mindset transforms ordinary people into extraordinary ones. Because victims wait, leaders move. Imagine standing before a mirror that doesn't reflect your appearance. Instead, it reflects your habits. Would you recognize the person staring back? Would you admire their discipline, their honesty, their resilience? Remember, your habits introduce you long before your achievements ever do. The eagle never asks the storm to stop. It spreads its wings and rises above it. The storm remains. The eagle changes altitude. Perspective changes everything. The obstacle often stays exactly where it is. What changes is who you become while facing it. There will always be distractions. The world profits from your lack of focus. Every notification wants your attention. Every advertisement wants your desire. Every opinion wants your reaction. Guard your attention carefully, because whatever owns your attention eventually shapes your future. Attention is the beginning of destiny. Spend it wisely. Picture a blacksmith placing iron into a blazing furnace. Again and again, each time, the metal becomes stronger, more refined, more resilient. Iron doesn't understand why it's entering the fire. Neither do we, but afterward, it becomes something capable of lasting generations. Maybe your difficult season isn't punishment. Maybe it's preparation. One day, you'll wake up and realize something incredible. The person who once needed constant motivation has become disciplined. The person who once feared rejection now welcomes growth. The person who once doubted every step now walks with quiet confidence. Not because life became easier, because you became stronger than the life you once feared. And when that day comes, you'll understand something that cannot be taught, only experienced. The greatest victory was never earning more money, or gaining more recognition, or proving people wrong. The greatest victory was winning the battle inside your own mind. The battle between fear and courage, between comfort and purpose, between excuses and action. Because once you master that battle, very little in this world can stop you. So as this moment comes to an end, remember this. You don't have to become extraordinary today. You don't have to solve your entire future before sunrise tomorrow. You only need one victory. Wake up when you said you would. Take the walk. Read the chapter. Make the difficult phone call. Finish what you've been avoiding. One victory becomes two. Two become 10. 10 become a lifestyle. And a lifestyle becomes an identity. Years from now, people will admire the strength they see. They'll never know it was built in quiet mornings, lonely evenings, silent decisions, and countless moments when quitting would have been easier, but you'll know. Because you'll remember the battle, the one no one else could see, the one that mattered more than every other battle combined, the battle against your own limits. Fight that battle every single day, not with anger, not with fear, but with patience, with discipline, with hope, because hidden inside you, right now, is someone stronger than your doubts, wiser than your fears, greater than your excuses. They're waiting for one thing, for you to stop listening to the voice that says you can't, and start following the voice that has believed in you all along. That voice has been there since the beginning. Listen closely, then take the next step, and never stop walking,